another client story for you. Worked recently with a guy who has a very big, very powerful German Shepherd. And he came in to work on the dog's leash manners. It was pulling him a lot. It was starting to get reactive and becoming more reactive on the leash toward other dogs. So he was struggling on his walks. They were not enjoyable anymore. So he came in, we did a private training session, and we deal with this all the time. This is the most common reason people come in the first place. So he actually already had an effective collar to use. We ended up putting the dog on a pinch collar. He had been walking him on a flat collar. He had tried a harness, he had tried a choke collar, nothing was working. So we put him on a pinch collar, and like I said, the guy already owned it, so it was his. He was going to take it back home with him. So we did the session, and within an hour, it's all it took really, we were able to get the dog dialed in. The guy was super happy with the results. He was doing it. I wasn't just doing it and having him watch. He actually had the leash. We walked around the distractions. We saw other dogs, and he was behaving really well. So all he needed was, the dog needed a little bit of clarity. So he did all that and wrapped everything up. And then as the guy was leaving, he unclipped the leash from the training collar and he put it back onto the flat collar. And so I asked him, why'd you do that? He said, well, I'm not walking him right now. I'm just taking him to the car. Okay, I've seen this quite frequently. This is not a one-off. A lot of people, I think, consider the walk as in, I am going to walk the dog. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to go and do, a mile walk. They look at that as a very different experience than taking the dog from the front door to the car, or from the car into, the pet shop, or wherever they're going. And what I want to emphasize is that you've got to be consistent. If you find a piece of equipment that works well for you and a method and technique that works well for you, you need to use it all the time. So that doesn't mean that this guy is going to have to use the pinch collar for the rest of his dog's life. But right now, he's trying to build a new habit. He's trying to get the dog to internalize the correct behaviors on walks. So that means that if he uses the pinch, in this case, the pinch collar on the walk, but he doesn't use it when he's walking from the car to the front door, the dog is going to get two very different messages. And a couple of things are likely to happen. Either the dog will become collar wise, and he will only behave when he's wearing the training collar, the pinch collar in this case, or he's just completely and utterly confused, and he doesn't know when the rules will apply and when they won't. And that type of confusion can create a lot of anxiety, and that's when we start to see, a whole different set of behaviors. So the takeaway is, when you find the right stuff, stick with it and help that dog understand, and give him the clarity to understand that no matter where you're going, when he's on a leash, this is how he behaves. It's that simple. And so anyway, so I explained it to this particular client, and he goes, okay, and he put the leash back on the training collar. And then he came in again, not for training, but to drop the dog off at our facility, and he had it on the flat collar again. And I think he was a little bit chagrined that I was there, and I didn't even say anything. I didn't need to. I just looked at him, and he kind of went, oh God, he goes, I just forgot. I forgot to do it. And I said, well, okay, I get it, but keep in mind, this is what's going on when you forget to put the right collar on. And so he did eventually, because I saw him subsequently, and he did have the dog, the leash was attached to the training collar, and sure enough, the dog was doing really well. So it's just one of those little tiny things that I, as the trainer, didn't really think about. It to me, it's just normal. It's just natural. If the dog works well on one thing, then why would you not use that one thing the whole time? But for a lot of people, like I said, the walk is considered a completely separate, different event from walking him from point A to point B. So just think of it this way: whether you're doing 3 steps or 3,000 steps, it doesn't matter. Every time the leash is on, use the collar that communicates best with that dog, and you'll get much better results that way.